Several college football preview magazines have already hit newsstands. Athlon Sports has Florida State ranked number 9. Lindy's has FSU ranked number 8. But one of the most respected college football writers, Phil Steele, has the Noles at number 1. We now bring in Phil to talk Florida State as well as some other ACC squads in his rankings. Now, even in your projected AP preseason poll, you felt the AP would rank the Seminoles 9th. Explain your decision to rank Florida State number 1 in your preseason top 40 countdown.
This year with Florida State, the main thing that I'm looking at there is they've got the best defense in the country. If you look at that defensive line, they go 3 deep. It's a legitimate 3 deep. They can rotate often. It's an SEC caliber defensive line. This is a defense that's produced 88 sacks the last 2 years. They also had in 3 of the top freshmen from this year. 3 of their 4 losses last year came when their quarterback, E.J. Manuel, was injured. He missed the second half against Oklahoma, all of Clemson, and then the first quarter and a half against Wake Forest until he came off the bench when they were in a big hole, and then factor in the schedule. Your 3 toughest opponents this year are Clemson and Florida. They get both those 2 teams at home. And then the big game of the season is in Blacksburg against Virginia Tech. I like the Seminoles to be able to go in there off a bye week and come out of there with a win. So with the lack of landmines, the best defense in the country, and a vastly improved offense, I think Florida State's got the talent and the schedule to run the table this year. And that's why I picked them number 1.
Pretty good argument there. Now, North Carolina brings in a new head coach in Larry Fedora. But despite that transition, you've got the Tar Heels ranked number 13 in your top 40 countdown. Explain that decision for me.
Here's one case where first-year head coach Fedora, who led his Southern Miss team last year to a CUSA title, runs a very aggressive offense and defense, and I like the talent he inherits. He's got running back Giovanni Bernard, one of the more underrated running backs in the country. Last year he rushed for over 1,250 yards as a freshman. Then you factor in the schedule. Road games this year are against Wake Forest, Louisville, a rebuilding Miami of Florida, Duke, and Virginia. I think all those games are on the winnable side, and the toughest games of the season, Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech at home. But I think overall they're going to finish very high, double-digit wins, and that's why I've got number 13.
Tar Heel fans will be happy to hear that. Now, last year's ACC championship game participants, Clemson and Virginia Tech, come in at number 14 and number 24, respectively. Quickly, what will it take for these teams to get back into the ACC title game?
Well, for Clemson, they're going to have to get through Florida State, and I just don't see it happening. But I did pick them second in the ACC. They've got Taj Boyd back at quarterback, Andre Ellington at running back, and then 2 quality receivers, DeAndre Hopkins and Sammy Watkins. My question mark with Clemson, last year Clemson's defense played a lot of freshmen. Those freshmen are now sophomores. They bring in another great class of freshmen. So I think they have an underrated defense. So they're a team very capable of getting to the double-digit win season, but I just don't see them getting back to the title game unless they pull the upset of Florida State. Now with Virginia Tech, they're a team that I do project to get back to the ACC title game. Virginia Tech's got a much tougher schedule. They draw both Florida State and Clemson out of the Atlantic, and they have to play Clemson on the road. They also have just 1 offensive lineman back, which is a concern, but Logan Thomas is there, and the defense may just be one of the better units Bud Foster's put on the field. They've got 9 starters back overall. I think it'll be one of Bud Foster's vintage units, and I see him dropping a game or 2, getting back to the ACC title game, and having another matchup with Florida State.
So with your track record, the Noles should be looking good come BCS championship time.
You know, every year people ask me, they say, Phil, who's your favorite team? And they think because I'm from Ohio, Ohio State's my favorite team. And I say, I tell you what, my favorite team is whoever I pick number 1 that year. And I base it on 9 different sets of power ratings played into the schedule, a lot of research gone into it. So I'm a huge Florida State fan this year.
Phil, thanks for joining us.
All right, a lot of fun talking football with you guys.